Hey there and welcome back to another She-Hulk video. And today we're going to be taking a look at episode 8, Ribbit and Rip It, which follows off from the cliffhanger ending of episode 7, where it was revealed that Josh is one of those intelligentsia nutjobs that hate She-Hulk and want to see her publicly humiliated or killed, or whatever it is their subreddit said a few episodes ago. Either way, they're misogynists and they hate her. Now, one of my big complaints about this show has been the lack of development, either from a plot perspective with an overarching narrative, or from a Jen perspective. And after a couple of episodes of wondering when this thing was going to kick into gear, I was starting to worry about the show and its direction. Until last episode, when we finally got some much needed Jen development, as she's largely felt like a secondary character in her own show, and has been consistently outshone by her side characters. But they really did start to address that last episode, and so I came into this one hoping for more of the same, and I wasn't really disappointed. But yeah, with all that being said, let's jump into the episode. So we open the episode with Jen and a would-be superhero named Leapfrog, as he describes an altercation with a pair of robbers outside an electronics store. As the robbers are discussing how OLED TVs are better for color resolution and picture quality, they're apprehended by our vigilante in a frog costume, who quotes cringy lines at them and just embarrasses himself trying to fight them, getting his ass whooped and then trying to escape via his little ankle boosters, only for them to cut out, him to crash land onto the concrete and catch on fire, leaving him with severe burns on his legs. Whoops. And so he wants to sue, because this suit was supposed to have a 900-degree threshold, and thus he wants compensation for the physical and emotional trauma that he's experienced. And you gotta hand it to this guy. Whilst he is clearly an idiot, it does take guts to dress up as a frog hero and scream cringy lines in life-threatening situations. Jen then tells him that he seems like he has a really good case and asks who the manufacturer is, only to discover that it's Luke, her suit guy, which, kind of sucks for her, as she needs a proper super tailor to make her clothes that fit both her and She-Hulk. And so she tries to get out of doing this, she tries to pass off the case to Pug, but surprise, surprise, Froggy has a rich and powerful daddy who wants a Hulk on the case, and so she has to go through with it. Damn. But at least her boss gives her the opportunity to go and speak to Jacobson to try and get to the bottom of things and sort things out. And of course, that fails and fails hard, as he feels betrayed and thus he fires her as a client. And fair enough, you can't really fault him for that. Also, this dude spits fire. You greasy old buffalo. Damn. Blocked, blacklisted, reported. I had a good laugh at all of this. He's got to be one of my favourite side characters in the show. And so, yeah, she doesn't really take this well at all. And so it's off to court, where after a full season's worth of waiting and a pretty big teaser a number of episodes ago, we finally get the appearance of Daredevil in the show, as Matt Murdock arrives in court as Luke's legal representative. And he absolutely picks apart Jen's case because, her client is an idiot and didn't follow the manufacturer guidelines, using jet fuel. And then on top of that, he neglected to tell her that fact, which makes them both look like fools and makes their case crumble away into dust. And honestly, this was quite a clever way of introducing Daredevil. Bring him in, have him run rings around her in the courtroom, show off how impressive he is, show off to the audience what his superpower is of being able to detect through sound when people are lying, and also, I guess he has super smell as well, and all that other crazy superhero shit. It's insane how good his senses are, and yet in this world, apparently he has no superpowers. Sure. And then Jen hits the bar, man, what do you know? He's there, waiting with an appletini. And so I guess Daredevil's becoming her latest love interest to grace the screen, and hopefully it works out better than the first couple. And honestly, this whole scene just worked. I definitely got sucked in. They had mad chemistry in a way that she hasn't had with basically any other character, and it just fits. And I think it especially works that on that meta level, he's blind. And thus, he's simply working off her personality. He doesn't care about how she looks as Jen or as She-Hulk, but more how she is as a person, the person inside. And I think this ties in nicely with her previous love interests, either focusing on She-Hulk or Jen. And then on top of that, the fact that last episode she sort of came to terms with the two halves of herself. It's written in the stars, I tells ya. And hell, when they break the fourth wall and she asks if you can feel it too, god damn it, I could feel it too. But anyway, their flirtatious banter's broken up as Matt gets a mysterious call about work. And Jen gets a text from Creepy Todd about a case, but it turns out he's just trying to score a date whilst also being sexist and racially insensitive. A true billionaire indeed. Before she heads home and gets a call from Leapfrog, who's currently being attacked, and so we have her suit up for the first time and head out to save him using Find My Friends. And who's attacking him? Why, it's Daredevil, of course, wearing a red and gold suit today and looking pretty awesome. And Jen's suit, which feels reminiscent of a cyclist, also actually looks pretty awesome, not gonna lie. And this scene, this is what I've been waiting for, just pure awesome. The music, Daredevil's acrobatics, Jen just trying to relentlessly smash this guy, the banter. Just a really fun confrontation. Although, it's wild to me that she's just smashing shit left and right, breaking concrete, throwing cars. Are there laws that say that vigilantes can just do whatever they want now with no consequences? Like, imagine waking up to find that She-Hulk had totaled your nice car in a battle that ultimately had no stakes. Damn. Also, I like that they didn't make Daredevil ridiculous and have him, outfight her. He has no chance in a fight. Any sort of fight, really. And so he has to dodge and run and rely on his brain and agility to face off with somebody who has no real training and is mostly relying on brute force. But anyway, she beats him with a thunderclap, which renders him useless as it hurts his ears, and thus he can't see very well anymore. And then they stumble over giving an actual explanation behind his powers, and fair enough, it doesn't really matter. Before it's revealed that this whole battle was a massive misunderstanding, and that Leapfrog is the bad guy. Whoops. And he kidnapped Luke to make him a brand new suit. Double oops. And so our two heroes decide to team up, leaving behind the ruined parking lot, and heading over to the lily pad to confront him. And the chemistry between these two, well, it remains off the charts, and their banter game remains strong. Really awesome development here. This, and the last episode, they've really turned me around on Jen as a character. She's much improved, and whilst there isn't really that present overarching story, just small threads leading into the final episode, I'm still having fun with it again. But anyway, Daredevil also remains a badass and rips through a bunch of goons quite easily. Jen smashes some others, Luke forgives Jen, Leapfrog breaks his legs trying to escape, and then Jen and Matt have a very cute scene up on the roof of the lily pad building, and then go back to her place and have sex, cause yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The next day, Daredevil does the walk of shame, minus the shame as he seems pretty proud of himself, greeting old ladies, whistling as he goes. And then there is a fourth wall break where they actually straight up address that the story doesn't really have much direction in terms of an overall narrative, so it was clearly a very overt choice this season. And she talks about how next week's the finale, and it's time for the big twist. And really, no idea what this big twist could possibly be. The incels have been all around her this whole time, maybe? I mean, that rich guy that keeps trying to date her, perhaps? Surely he's one. They then arrive at the award gala for the Southern California Law Awards, which has a red carpet and paparazzi for some reason, I presume because they knew that She-Hulk was going to be there, where it turns out that this Female Lawyer of the Year award is more of a condescending and patronising category where a bunch of women all win at once and are asked to talk about what it's like to be a female lawyer. Just pure, unrefined cringe right here. I think she'd be within her rights to enter Hulk rage mode just now for having to endure this dickhead of a presenter. And then the intelligentsia story kicks off again, and she gets doxed pretty hard with her dating profile, bank records, text conversations, her bills, and basically everything in her life revealed to everybody. Oh, and it also turns out she was filmed having sex with Josh, and they revenge porned her too. So yeah, that's pretty messed up. And so she rightfully rages because for some reason nobody's killed the power for this thing, and then she smashes up the screen completely, freaking everybody out and having the building evacuated and getting her, well, I guess she's getting arrested now. But I mean, as if they'd even be able to take her down. She's a Hulk, come on. Also, she literally had one of them within her grasp. Should have just pulled off his mask at the very least. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode, and once again, it's a much improved episode. And we're really starting to see Jen shine, as I said earlier. This episode and the episode prior have been really good episodes for her character development. And hey, we finally arrived at the main storyline, so at the very least, it's going to go out with a bang. I haven't always been the biggest fan of this show, but I think they have the chance to finish off really strong. But anyway, that's the end of the video, and I would like to say that these have just been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the episode? You like it, hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.